Yes, my name is Mikayla Williams. I'm a current student here at DACC.
Can you say your name?
Esther Robinson.
Introduce yourself and your time here at DACC.
My name's Rickey Williams. I'm a professor of criminal justice.
I'm Daylen Davis-Williams. My major is criminal justice.
What's your name?
Anaiya Robinson.
My name is Marlo Maher.
My name is Dwight Lucas. I'm a faculty member here at DACC in the business department.
I'm Stephane Potts, Director of Advisement and Counseling and Transfer Articulation Coordinator.
I believe the hardest part about discussing issues is that people don't really understand, or no one really ever sees eye to eye. No one really ever gets your viewpoint. It usually just causes more conflict, and that's the issue at hand, is so much conflict, you know?
The people are so uncomfortable with it. It's hard to talk about an issue if you don't want to deal with the true facts. And I tell people those facts differ depending on you and I, because it depends on your perspective on how you see it. And so a lot of people see it one way because they've been reared that way, raised that way, their town thinks that way, that kind of stuff, and it becomes kind of part of their persona, okay? And they don't realize it. I do one thing in class that I do is we break down where people are from, because we have people from Indiana, Chicago, Danville, Westville, Georgetown, all over. And then we break down exactly how they see that town. Okay, not a particular person, but that town. And you'd be surprised what happens.
Try not to get mad. I try my best to have an actual dialogue, to have a conversation, and not all of a sudden get mad and think, well, what are you trying to tell me? What are you trying to say? Try to keep calm and turn it into a dialogue.
I think it would go back to assumptions that we have about people, but also I would say the non-acknowledged hurt that some people, some groups have experienced, and acknowledging that, I think, from a majority or majoritized group, I think that would help. And people are afraid. People don't want to know, they're afraid to say the wrong thing, they're afraid to do the wrong thing. But if we were open and honest with each other and just had a conversation, like you and I, we're just sitting here having a conversation. If we do more of that, I think it would make race relation conversations so much more easier. And we have to be courageous. We have to be able to say how we really feel, and on the other side, be willing to accept how that other person feels.
No. There's been a lot that's transpired over the past few years, with killings, with just mindsets that I don't believe have helped at all. And I think we're in probably in worse shape than we've been in a long time.
In our society, honestly, I think more people spoken up and are trying to do better, but honestly, I feel like it can't be better. So I feel like if we keep doing what we're doing, then hopefully it will be better.
I think it's definitely better than in the past, but I think there's a little ways to go, especially when thinking about in the upper echelon of things like the corporate America, even in like the sports arena, like just things like we just had the Super Bowl, but like I think Jim Brown was talking about how there's a lot of now black athletes in the NFL, but not as many head coaches or general managers in that position. So I think in those areas we have a lot of improvement to make up.
In our society, there are pockets where you have individuals who have either experienced it from a personal experience, professional experience, or those who are trying to reach out. In Danville alone, I remember going to school. When I went to school and left here in '76 to go to Chicago to go to school, when I came back, I was very aware of how prejudiced and how racial Danville is. Today, if you find yourself at Walmart or wherever, you might not run into all that, and I think it's more so because there are blended families.
So there's been many positive influences in our community as well as at DACC. I would just want to say the small businesses that are starting up, the black businesses specifically. There's a small studio that's called Finally Raw Studio next to Penn Station. They're a dance studio, but they have also been featuring small businesses inside their small business, and I think that's a great deal, There's been some photography that's been starting up, and I think that's really cool because it's been a bunch of like small businesses, but black businesses helping each other, like David's Production or Stephanie Butler. I can't really think of hers right now, but they're all been helping each other, and I just think that's neat, that the community is trying to help one another. So it's cool to me.
I've had a lot of positive experiences. I came into the DACC community when I was young, so it was kind of interesting. I was probably about 12 when I got introduced to Mary Miller and the people that were here on campus. And so that was a great experience. And she was always, anytime she would see me or something, she'd always say, well, you're going to come out here at DACC, you're going to do this, do that. And it's always yes, of course. Even though I might have been thinking about something else at that point. But our community has always been great. I grew up in Westville, but did a lot of things in Danville because my mother and father's friends were from Danville also. And so it was always very supportive, the community. I remember Coach K, he had always tell me, hey, when are you going to move to Danville and play baseball for me? Those kinds of things. So people were always supportive.
I've been living in Danville for 20 years, and here at DACC, it's a wonderful time experience being here. I feel like I'm being treated as equally as everyone around me, and that made me feel well appreciated.
I think it's something that needs to be respected, which is being respected. And so far I've learned that it's a big deal here, and people like looking at the history and the way we believe it back home, it's totally different here. We know what happened, but after getting here, I know what people went through, and I really respect it now, so yeah.
I think it's important that because we need to know about all of our history. And growing up I grew up in Pennsylvania, and when I was in my history classes, we didn't get a lot of the history. And when I became the student diversity advocate at first on DACC's campus, I did a lot of history searching, and I found a lot of hidden history, especially African American hidden history. And it's important that we all know about our true history for the Americas, for the world at large, so that we can understand how we all fit into this world. And I think if we had the understanding of contributions of each group, the things that they've done to support, to grow our country, our world, I think we'd have a deeper appreciation for other people.
I think I was just telling my team last week that it's important because it helps me understand where I've come from. There's a lot of history that wasn't taught in the educational system. There's a lot that I didn't learn. And it seems like every year I learn bits and pieces of it that help. It's also important for me as a Black woman interacting with others that they understand where I've come from historically and how my ancestors have contributed to a lot of the things that we have and use today.
I've grown up with Black History Month being important. All I can remember is just so important to the African American race, because that's the month where we actually get to learn about ourselves, where we actually matter, where people actually take time to recognize African Americans, and not for dribbling a basketball or not for rapping a song, but actually for the inventions we've made, the blood, sweat, and tears we've put into this country. We actually learn about ourselves. Coherency, hearing each other out, understanding, and not, when I say understanding, not understanding so that you can respond, but listening and understanding. Not just listening so that you can hurry up and rebuttal or get your thoughts across, but actually being genuine. Being genuine, I feel like, is really the key to racism in the United States, because I feel like a lot of people are doing things for show and just because money or reality, but what about the things that aren't actually being recorded? If there's more people like that, that's not focused on, let me do this for the camera, let me record myself while I'm doing this, just actually doing the action and actually thinking about it, the genuality would be big, be amazing.
Talking to one another. We have to be able to talk about a situation. There are always, throughout my life, I always heard three things we don't talk about, right? Religion, politics, and race, okay? Those are the three main things that we need because they drive the economy, they drive what you and I do. So we have to look at that, and when you're talking about race specifically, we're multicultural. America is a true melting pot. So if you can't look at me and see me as a human being, not as a male or a Black male, then we already have a problem. So we need to look at each other, how we see each other. Okay.
One of the biggest things that I had done was I took an African American class with Dr. Lucas. It first starts with either education in the schools or in the home. And it starts with honesty. You have to be able to sit down and say, this is exactly what happened. This is exactly how we treated the people and why we treated them and where we're going to go from here. So if you're just going to start from today, not that much is going to get done. You've got to start from 1619.
Hello everyone, I'm Kelsie Coleman. I work for Project Success as a site coordinator for Southview. I also coach, mentor, and I'm the author of 2 poetry books. I also have been working with kids and youth development for years in this community, just doing different things. and I have 2 poems for you. One I'm going to read, and it's called Black Kids Need to See Black Excellence, and then one that I'm going to recite, and it's called The 4th of September. Black kids need to see Black excellence. Black writers are important for Black girls like me, so that they know and can also believe that our gifts and works are important to see. It mirrors an example and sparks up a flame that clicks in your mind and your heart. This could be me one day. It puts confidence in your step and broadens your shoulders. It instills a pride in your heart that transcends into your craft. You feel like for once you belong in the world, to see faces like yours and hear voices like yours. And rework from talent like your own is special nonetheless. Knowing that so many individuals paved the way just for you means that you've been blessed. Blessed to be able to write what you want, to raise your voice as you like, to be seen as you are because it's your God-given right. Knowing that our history is much more than slavery, racism, prejudice, and oppression. That people like us overcame and became something more than the whips on our ancestors' back. More than picking cotton in the fields, being belittled and abused. We are more than massa tried to work out of us. You see, that is just a small portion of our history. Pick up books and then you'll see. We are writers, engineers, scientists, and astronauts, doctors, lawyers, teachers, and entrepreneurs, public speakers, preachers, poets, and actors. You are more than the eye can see. And after 26 years, I know that it is more than important to see writers like me. For her heart longed to give its love to a soul, not just any soul, but the mate to hers, a match to her swag, the flow to her beat, waiting for her Black king. In her past, she experienced a whole lot of brothers who had not yet tapped into kingship. You know, men who talk that yin-yang and bump their gums about what they want, all along lips potent with lies. And her intuition always revealed their intentions. She grew weary. She stopped believing he existed. Giving over the power of her fear of being nakedly exposed, she feared being disappointed. Cheating her heart out of truly living, thriving, beating, pumping blood to these organs of love. She was dying to experience something real. As years passed, disappointment built defenses, causing denial of the very thing she wanted. It wasn't until the 24th year she decided to stop running, pull the walls down and say, when love knocks, baby, I'm answering. There she stood, slightly afraid, but courageous enough to finally say, I want it. She never realized that there was a strength in her vulnerability until the 4th of September.
Ready?
Yep.
Oh, mercy, mercy me. Oh, things ain't what they used to be. No, no. Where did all the blue skies go? And poison is the wind that blows from the north and south and east. Oh, mercy, mercy me. Oh, things ain't what they used to be. No, no. Oil wasted on the ocean and up on our seas, this full of mercury. Ooh, mercy, mercy me. Oh, things ain't what they used to be. No, no. Radiation underground and in the skies. Animals and birds and live nearby all dying. Oh, mercy, mercy me. Oh, things ain't what they used to be. What about this overcrowded land? How much more abuse from man can't you stand? What's going on? What's going on? What's going on? What's going on? Mother, mother, there's too many of you crying. Brother, 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 there's far too many of you dying. You know there's got to find a way to bring some loving in a day. Oh, Father, we don't need to escalate. You see, war is not the answer, for only love can conquer hate. You know we've got to find a way to bring some loving in a day. Oh, picket lines and picket signs, don't punish me with brutality. Come on, talk to me so we can see